Hello guys, and thanks for returning to Shields Vlogs again. Today actually could have been a better day. I actually ended up spraining my wrist trying to move a linen boot. Like I just moved it so my wrist the wrong way or something. It's weird how such small things, insignificant movements can lead to that sometimes. But anyways, if any of you guys that visiting Yosemite or any employees need to go to the doctor's office or something, to the medical center right here, as you can see. So that's where I went, that's where I got this. So I'm actually just heading over to Yosemite Lodge right now, and gonna have dinner and then wait for that starry night tour up at Glacier Point. Can't wait for that. And I probably should mention, if you guys are actually wondering where that is, that's actually right on the same road so you go to the Majestic. The Majestic is actually right down that road. It's on the same exact road, and then it's actually right close to the village store right there. You just walk down there and then it should be on your left. So hopefully if any of you guys need it, I just came in handy for you guys. Just got done having dinner at the base camp. I had some orange chicken, that was good. Now I'm actually, before I go on to the Starry Night tour, I'm going to try to figure out if I can actually have a nighttime setting on this camp. I think it does, but I still need to figure it out. So if I can figure it out, that probably means you guys probably won't be seeing a lot of this, unfortunately, but I'll try my best. Wish me luck.
There's a restroom on the bus. I ask you not use it while we're driving because it's a very curvy road and the toilet sloshes. So if you do use it, you might have a blue butt when you come out. This is Corey. He'll be our Starry Nights expert. And I've heard his speech. I've heard a lot of the other people's talk, I guess you call it, right? And his is really good, so that's exciting. We have Corey.
And I paid Jim to say that. So whenever we get up to Glacier Point, I'll sort of get back on the mic. I will be sitting in the back, so I'll try to run up to the front here. But I will sort of show you where the amphitheater is going to be, where the Starry Skies program will start at 9 o'clock. I think Jim just told you we should get up there a little bit early, so you should have some time to go roam around Glacier Point, be able to hopefully watch the nice sunset, what we call the alpenglow on the mountains. Has nobody been to Glacier Point yet during their visit? Oh man, you are in for a treat. Yeah, this is one of my favorite views of any national park in the world. So yeah, we're in for quite an experience tonight. But yeah, we should have about 45 minutes to maybe an hour before the Starry Sky, so feel free to roam around, go out to Glacier Point, go out to the geology hut, take in the views, see the sunset, swat off the mosquitoes. Might be a little no mosquitoes yet? Okay, whew, thankfully no mosquitoes yet. But yeah, it should be really gorgeous. Other than that, any questions before we get started? No? Alright, I'll turn it over to Jim and we'll get going.
This is my first time doing the Starry Night bus tour, so I'm pretty excited for this. I just can't wait. I've been up to Glacier Point before, so.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So when you see all the cars parked on the road and off the road and in the meadows and everywhere there's a crook and cranny, that's why. On the right hand side here, just a quick site, they're building a new Awanichi Indian village so that the ancestors of those people can come here and share their stories and their crafts in a mock village of just like what they had when they were living here. On the left side, some geography for you to see, we have Sentinel Rock, and it's still a little bit flowing there, to the right of it is Sentinel Falls. I like to visualize that for y'all as if you think of a cat or a dog charging an area rug on the floor, they go running for it. They hit the edge of the rug, their nose or their paws go underneath, their face starts to crumple it up, and when you look at the result, you have a rug with lots of folds in it. Usually the folds are highest right at the face or paws of the animal, and they slowly get smaller and shorter as they get further away. So if you think of that, that's what's happening here on our west coast. These plates are colliding, causing lots of folds and wrinkles, some of which are the Sierra Nevada range, rock and dirt Oh, it's oh, darn. Okay, if you see a bear, you gotta say it faster.
Sorry.
At like 8 or 9 o'clock. So I know where. And then on the left-hand side, there's Horsetail Falls. And the answer is no, they're gonna let it take its natural course. Part of the reason is that it allows it to become a fire break for fires as they burn up in this area. For millions of years, the glaciers continue to melt faster than they were created. More and more water was coming down, and what are they doing? They're doing erosion. So they're bringing debris, rocks, and trees with them. They're filling in the bottom of Lake Yosemite.
I'm at the prettiest spot I have ever seen again. I know when I came back here, when I was here last September, I was blown away by Glacier Point, and I'm so happy I'm here again. Time to show you guys like an amazing, amazing view. You actually can see part of Half Dome right there. Oh man, I'm so excited I'm back at Glacier Point right now. It's in a little, just pause really quick if you want to eat this. Here is Glacier Point. Actually, part of Glacier Point. Glacier Point is actually technically right over there, but just I can't believe how amazing this view is. I'm blown. Oh my goodness, I am blown away with it. This is the prettiest view I have ever seen out of anywhere. So glad I'm back. Just look how breathtaking this view is. I wish the camera could do it more justice. You definitely need to be here in person in order to truly appreciate all of this view and how amazing this is. So glad I'm back here at Glacier Point. And then if you actually come over here, you actually can see those waterfalls right down there. So that's actually one of the trails that you get up to Half Dome. You actually have to hike up by those waterfalls right there, and then hike around. I'm not exactly sure what that is called right there, and then like all of then around that, and then to the backside where you can't see, and then the backside is actually where the cables are on Half Dome. And then you can see some of the valley right down there. And then, just in case if you guys were wondering what some mountains were, here's a little thing for it. Okay, Glacier Point is actually right up here. It's not where I just was, but that is kind of part of it. And since there's actually, this is amazing, there's a big, huge rocks there. Geology exhibit, Glacier Point. I'm going this way to that geology exhibit right there. I can't believe I'm back at Glacier Point. I'm so amazed. Man, this is the prettiest view I have ever seen in my whole entire life. I can't believe I'm back here. This hut right here is actually the geology center. It tells you how it was actually formed, Yosemite Valley and just Yosemite in general. Oh, I really wish I could just camp right there overnight and sleep and then wake up in the morning, and then it would be the perfect spot to stay at Glacier Point. This is Glacier Point right here. Okay, this is what they call Glacier Point right here. You can see the valley incredibly good here. I think I actually see where Mirror Lake is. I could be wrong about that. I want to say that might be it right there. I'm not 100% sure. Don't take my word on that. And then along there. Oh, you can actually see where I work. Zewani right there.
Yosemite Falls.
And then
That's what she was saying.
I usually walk along the river and then across that bridge right there, and then down along there, and you can just barely see the parking lot where Half Dome Village is, just barely. But the granite wall is blocking my view of where I'm tending. I'd show you guys. And I think that's housekeeping camp right there. Yeah, so it is housekeeping camp right there. I can tell by the shape of the tent and that bridge right there. And then that right there, that's Lower Yosemite Falls right there. And then Upper Yosemite Falls. I can see some of the trail right there going up to Upper Yosemite Falls. And those arches right there are actually the royal arches. Actually, my friend Aiden, he was in my El Cap video. He actually climbed those. He said those are pretty tough to climb.
That's the upper, that's the lower.
You know what? I actually found a place where I actually can spot my huff. I recognize it because that's some meadows that's right by. I'm blanking on the name right now. But anyways, it's by Half Dome Village. Then since that's actually the parking lot, and since that's actually where I usually go eat, and right there, and like all the tents you can rent out right there, as you can see, all that white. And then right there is the parking lot that I've walked by. I'm sure you guys know which one I'm talking about if you guys have seen my videos. And then that is actually Huff right there. And then I think, yes, that is the wellness center right there. I usually walk right over here along that road right there, over that bridge, Stoneman Bridge, and then right along the river right there, over that bridge, and then over to, that actually is the wedding lawn right there, over to the Majestic. That's usually my walk in the morning when I get out of work. It usually takes around 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, I was looking at this map and I was actually right about Mirror Lake. Huh, who would have thought I was right about that?
Actually, you know what, that newspaper, every single newspaper with all the stuff, there's a grid.
And I wish I could
The whole thing, there's like a
bring everyone that's watching this right now like to Glacier Point so you guys can experience this firsthand. It's amazing. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity type thing. You guys have to come here.
Unlike anywhere else in the world, we just have to get just the right timing of painting. When it's half done, we're able to see the effects that we see today. So you guys can go back to your seats. Thank you very much.
Oh, just missed it, whatever that was.
Oh, pretty gently flying down. But there was an event in 1996, and I was in Yosemite Valley, and I thought I heard thunder. This was in early July. And I traveled down to the west end of Yosemite Valley, went to look back and photograph Half Dome, and it was gone. Point Half Dome Road, it was obscured by a cloud of dust that had risen up over a mile into the air and completely obscured the eastern end of Yosemite Valley. All of the emergency sirens went off, all the emergency vehicles facing the east end of the valley, and then I came back and I started talking to people, and people said that they were hiking down off of Half Dome and the Mist Trail from Nevada Falls, and right behind me at the bottom of the cliff below Glacier Point at Happy Isles, they thought, as they heard up in the sky, they heard cannon fire going off. And they looked up and they heard these giant cracking and booming sounds, and an arch of granite weighing over 80,000 tons and about 2,000 feet above the valley floor, suddenly starting to crack and break free from the wall. It slid down a few hundred feet, that ejected it out like a ski jump, out into the air, and then it free fell 1,800 feet straight down to the valley floor. Imagine if I took a really big book, any giant atlas or anything you've seen, and then just drop it on a table with papers laying around. Imagine the wind blast with the air displacement when it hit the table. Well, there are two slabs of rock, roughly comparable to an entire football field, about 8 feet thick, of granite that dropped all that distance straight down to the valley floor that day. So imagine if you were a visitor down on the valley floor watching this thing sailing down towards you. When it hit, it generated a powerful earthquake and a massive wind blast so powerful that rock was pulverized into a granite dust and went racing across Yosemite Valley with this deafening roar. Giant trees, 6 to 8 feet in diameter. Every single tree in the path of that wind blast was snapped off like a toothpick and looked like, in the aftermath, much like the Mount St. Helens eruption, where everything was lying down in one direction and coated with gray dust. Well, imagine if you're suddenly the ground shaking, this thunderous cloud, this horrible roar, and the wind at over 150 miles per hour. And that's substantially higher than the designation for a Class 5 hurricane. Racing across Yosemite Valley, people are ducking behind trees and boulders and the snack stand and the visitor center, and one of those massive trees broke off, flew through the air, and crashed down on the ice cream stand and killed one young man just 18 years old, instantly. And so rock falls, as cute as they looked up here on stage, happen actually every day in Yosemite somewhere. But ones of that magnitude, not quite so often, especially not right around people, and not where they're falling free fall that far through the air. But rock falls can be incredibly deadly. And they are the dominant, powerful force shaping Yosemite's features today, chiseling away at the weave of the linen, if you will, or those joint patterns set in place because of the stresses, because of the lift in the Sierra fault block, and also the strain of the San Andreas fault to the west, creating this fracture pattern through the granite of the park that now is what all these agents of weathering and erosion, or these different paintbrushes, are working on to shape this landscape. And so we realized Yosemite is not a product of just glaciation, as you might infer from being here at Glacier Point or reading some of John Muir's writings, but rather Yosemite is like a great work of art in which the paint is wet, still changing and evolving. It's only half painted yet, and I realized this as I was building a sandcastle with my 2 daughters on the Oregon coast one day. And it was gray and cloudy in the morning, and this castle was about 12 feet long and about this wide. And at one end it had Half Dome, the other end El Capitan and Cathedral Rocks. It was actually not a castle, it was a model of Yosemite Valley. Looked pretty good until it started to dry out when the sun came out and the walls began crumbling away constantly. And I realized if we were to take a time-lapse video of Yosemite Valley over millions of years, it'd be similar to watching that sandcastle crumble away as the sun dried out the sand. Because it's just constantly being shaped on a geologic time scale that's much slower than we are able to typically perceive in a very short time that humans are here in Yosemite. And so this unique geology, as it appears unlike any place else in the world, inspired artists and photographers from around the world to label Yosemite the most beautiful place on earth, more so than any other place, and inspired legislation to make this the first park of its kind anywhere in the world that started the entire national parks concept later on with Yellowstone in 1872 being the first official national park federally managed by the federal government. And so we can think of Yosemite as a great work of art, which the paint is always wet, changing and evolving, and we're just getting to see it in part of its process here in this magnificent place we call Yosemite.
So the ranger actually painted that. That's spectacular. It's there. I know I'd be scared doing that. Man, just never witnessed Glacier Point at sunset. Sunset is amazing. I'm speechless.
We have to go over there anyway.
I'd mess up too.
But what I'm saying is, I go down.
I'd mess up too.
Yes, Cameron has his car there.
Technically, we're like in the middle point.
Yeah.
In that.
Oh, right.
Now, I think it's been an hour, and that's when we're supposed to meet back up for the Starry Night tour. Hopefully I can figure out where I'm supposed to meet them. Kind of forget. I wanted to say it was around here, or was amphitheater. I'm not too sure. Wish me luck. Okay, you guys see those clouds right there? So they're called lenticular clouds, and so it's actually happened from like only on like high elevations where mountains actually make the clouds actually do that, and it only happens in a few places in the world.
My name is Corey, and I work here in Yosemite as an amateur astronomer and also as an interpretive naturalist, which basically means an environmental educator. So I do all sorts of different educational programs all throughout the park. And I work here for Yosemite Hospitality, and tonight's program will be about an hour long. Yeah, it looks like the clouds are clearing out. Should be a really beautiful night for stargazing.
So that was a really cool experience. I thought it actually would have been a walk, but it's actually right down at the amphitheater, and he actually talked about like the stars, showed us the constellations, told us how to like find the North Star. I highly recommend it. He definitely knew what he was talking about. So I'm gonna say good night. I'm getting pretty tired, so I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.